You can't have your cake and eat it too. These teams want to get the rookie contract, but a quarterback that plays like a veteran.
After Mahomes won a championship in his rookie deal, that the norm is you want your quarterback to win. He has to win a championship on his rookie deal. But that was always going to be unrealistic.
What did Tom Brady do his rookie year, Lil?
Sat and learn.
What did Patrick Mahomes do his rookie year?
Sat and learn.
He watched. Well, looks like if you're not an elite quarterback by the age of 26, your career is absolutely ruined. The Colts are benching 22-year-old Anthony Richardson, and this is officially gone way too far. So I had to have a conversation about the lack of development going on in the NFL with young quarterbacks with my friend, person who's been on the channel a bunch of times, Reel Leel from the It's Not 1999 Anymore podcast. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I'll put the links in the description to the 99 pod in the description below. Like I'm saying, if you guys want to check it out after this episode, you can go and check out Reel Leel stuff. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to his stuff. After we talk about Anthony Richardson's benching, Bryce Young's benching, and all these other young quarterbacks benching, and which of these guys do we think can have a resurgence like Geno Smith or Sam Darnold or even Baker Mayfield, because it takes years to develop a skill that difficult, but teams aren't willing to be patient. So I'm gonna hand over the mic to a different version of Mike so you guys can enjoy the talk with Reel Leel. Ain't nobody got any time for developing QBs nowadays, Leel. Apparently, Anthony Richardson's heading to the bench next. I don't know if you saw the news that just broke. We're about to talk about the trend going around the NFL. Guys getting benched before age 26 or so. I seen it going all around the internet today. People are saying the NFL has a QB. Hey, sorry for interrupting myself, but one quick reminder before you forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can be here every single time I post. It's the free way you guys can support the channel. We're trying to build something special here very early on in the stages here. We only have 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to get 20,000 subscribers. The only way that's possible is if you guys support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, turn on notifications. Developmental problem. But I just want to start specifically with Anthony Richardson. I took a poll on my Instagram page before the show asking people if they think they benched Anthony Richardson too soon. 71% of NFL fans that voted in that poll think the Colts are benching Anthony Richardson too soon. What's your thoughts on this? Because this is kind of a tough pill to swallow for a guy they drafted 2 years ago saying he's going to take 3 years to develop.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I think when you talk about the culture in the NFL, there's a lot of ways you can look about it. You know, I think AR-15, you know, you look at him in his play this year, right? I believe he has completed just 44% of his passes, right? But we all knew coming into the league that he had a lot of developing to do, right? We all know he had the raw physical attributes, right? But we didn't know, what we didn't know was, can this brother make the routine NFL throws, the easy throws, the intermediate throws, right? The processing throws, right? And we all knew that it was going to take time for him to develop, which is why you look in the culture of the NFL, guys are playing day one. They throwing the guys out there now. Bryce Young included into this conversation. They gave this man the starting gig before training camp, okay? So now that guys or organizations are throwing you out there to the wolves, they expect you to beat Tom Brady overnight. Folks, okay, people watching this show, Tom Brady is once in a lifetime. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to be real with you. I don't, okay, because they get away with a lot. But that's once in a generation. You got to develop guys, right? They're not going to be those guys overnight. So I think when you talk about if they pulled the trigger too soon on benching him, of course they did. This guy had 10 NFL games of experience. This guy had 13 college games, I believe, of experience. No, he needs reps, not mental reps, in-game reps, okay? And what are we trying to win here with Joe Flacco? What do we think we're going to win here with Joe Flacco? Super Bowl? What, this is 2007, 8? No, it's not going to happen, okay? They made a mistake.
And the craziest part about the statement that you just said, Tom Brady once in a lifetime, Patrick Mahomes once in a lifetime. What did Tom Brady do his rookie year, Lil?
Sat and
What did
learn.
Patrick Mahomes do his rookie year?
Sat and learn.
He watched.
Yep.
So, I mean, even those two guys aren't exceptions to it being extremely hard to play quarterback in the NFL. And these rookies that we've seen over the last couple of years that have been broken out right away and been dominant right away. Justin Herbert, let's say, even Andrew Luck, even CJ Stroud, a more recent example, are like, we're still talking 1 out of 10 hit rate in the first round on quarterbacks. It's not easy pickings. And like you said, these guys need to develop. Some of them, the situation, I can understand why it's been sped up. I can understand because of coaching movement, because of this or that, or position in the draft this year, or maybe the quarterback is that bad at practice more so than just in the game. I'm talking like our situations with Mac Jones heading to the bench, some of these other guys that are on this list. Trey Lance didn't really get a fair shot, but you know, you understood what happened in that situation with Brock Purdy getting in there, the Bears finding themselves in position to get Caleb Williams if they bench Justin Fields or move on from Justin Fields. But this Anthony Richardson one, like you said, makes no freaking sense. He's 22 years old, and you're going to Joe Flacco, who is past his prime. He's better for the Colts this year, maybe, but this is basically sinking Anthony Richardson. And I don't know. The Colts are treating it as if like it's almost like a timeout, and they're going to bring him back out from this eventually on the other side, a better quarterback. But then why don't you just have him resting? Why don't you just have him on the bench from the get-go? You can't have your cake and eat it too. These teams want to get the rookie contract, but a quarterback that plays like a veteran. That's not how it works. You get a rookie quarterback in there, you're expecting them to struggle into this second contract, not prove it. But also at the same time, it's kind of the quarterback's fault because average quarterbacks are making $50 million per year. It seems like there is no room to be in between average and good and bad. There is no room to be in a developmental state anymore in the league. You either have to be worth $50 million or not.
Yeah, basically, and I think it reminds me of the middle class here in America and the non-existent middle class here in America, right? There's two Americas, the rich and the poor, the upper class and the lower class. There's no middle class. And I look at the NFL that way, right? You either an elite quarterback or a good quarterback that's making elite money. So you classified as elite by the money you're making, or you Sam Darnold on a 1-year deal, $10 million, right? The vet minimum, or you Russell Wilson, even though he's getting paid from the other contract from Denver, right? He had to take a flat fee to join Pittsburgh. So I think when you look at AR-15 in this situation here, it's just unfortunate because, you know, the norm was starting to be after Mahomes won a championship in his rookie deal, that the norm is you want your quarterback to win. He has to win a championship on his rookie deal. But that was always going to be unrealistic because development is key. Guys are not going, you're just not going to throw somebody out there and have him be Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. It's not going to happen. So I think they got to know what they signed up for, which is to tie themselves into the future of AR-15 and the development. And now, let's say they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs, barring that they make the playoffs, right? Actually, now they got to come back and do the same thing over again anyway. Might as well do it now because you will be ahead of the curve next year. So that's how I see it.
And he would have that experience. It's like the Chargers. They were in the wild card picture Herbert's rookie year, and clearly the team wasn't going to go anywhere past that. The team had a terrible O-line. I mean, they'd won 5 games the year before. That's how they got in a position to get Herbert in the first place with Philip Rivers at quarterback. So they weren't a good team, but I wanted Herbert just to experience the playoff game already. Like, just get that out the way. Let's just get that one done because then eventually he does get to the playoffs and they blow a 27-point lead because maybe a lack of experience. I don't know. It call me crazy, but I think that we've just been too spoiled in our lifetimes, especially me and you.
Yeah,
we've been too spoiled that the league just was loaded with franchise quarterbacks. Everyone thought it was easier to find these franchise quarterbacks, and it's not. The 10th best quarterback in the league today is the 20th best quarterback in the league of the last generation.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the overall premise of this conversation, which is development.
Mm.
Tom Brady said it in an interview. He said that, he had to sit and learn. And that's how he was able to, evolve into being. Remember, he took baby steps, right? He learned the playbook. He was, eating the hot dogs on the bench, right? And then he became a guy once he was ushered into the system as a game manager. That was his label when he first got in there, right? Adam Vinatieri winning the Super Bowls with the kicks, right? And then he became the GOAT as we know him to be, which is Tom Brady, right? So I think there's a process there. And right now we are skipping the process. We are throwing these guys out there week one, expecting them to, show you, I guess, why you
Mm-hmm.
drafted them that high with the pick. And I think, and I brought this up on my last show that I did, what I noticed is, and it makes sense, right? When you think about it from the logistics, but you know, teams are being less patient when it comes to quarterbacks on their rookie deal and their draft investments as opposed to their contract investments, right? Deshaun Watson. Okay, can we bench this guy? This guy's playing like the worst quarterback in football. Oh, no, we can't. We paid him $230 million fully guaranteed, right? Okay, we see another example. Daniel Jones. I'm gonna call him Daniel Bones because I don't know what's left of this cat. Okay, he's making, medium-sized money, but it's at, top 10, around that as far as the market value. Okay, can we bench this guy? This guy's playing like straight buns right now. No, we not. We tied into him financially. So everything here in the NFL is ruled by the dollar, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying, to go full circle, it's either you make that top dollar or you make no dollar. It's like either you're a backup or you're a freaking $50 million cat nowadays. There's no room in between for that development, like you said. And the disparity between Patrick Mahomes and the rest only grows the less we get development in the NFL. And that's what Tom Brady was complaining about, I think, in that conversation. No one's ever going to beat this freaking guy if they can't figure out a way to develop these guys. And speaking of the development, to close this conversation, it almost is like proof in the pudding when you see what like Baker Mayfield did when he went to Tampa, or what Sam Darnold is doing with Minnesota in a spot where he found better coaching. Like, these guys are showing that they might have been completely different stories if you gave them time to learn, if you gave them a great coaching staff, if you gave them a situation that was more developmental and focused on improvement over the years. Because now, as they come into their mid-20s, they're looking like mid-20-year-old prime quarterbacks as we expected them to 10 years ago.
No, I agree. And I think, you look at where Sam Darnold came from. He came from a organization that failed to develop Geno Smith. Geno Smith, say what you want about his performance this year, but he got himself a contract because of a good season that he put together in Seattle, right? You look at all the other quarterbacks in New York, right? So we see a trend here. So a lot of it, I mean, look at Zach Wilson. He got ran out of town. And sure, we don't know if Zach Wilson could play or not, but right now the Jets are worse. They're 2-6 right now with Aaron Rodgers. That was supposed to be the missing piece. Woohoo! We're going to the Super Bowl. No, you're not. You're going to Cancun. Okay, you're going to the Cancun Super Bowl. Okay,
no, they're going to the
not the
Rocky
NFL
Mountains.
Super
They're
Bowl.
going a darkness retreat.
Literally. Okay, I
Straight
mean,
to
come on. I mean, the guy goes and hides out into darkness and comes back the same way. Okay, narcissistic, unrealistic. Okay, it is what it is. But yeah, that's what we got right now, man.
Oh man! All right, I'm just gonna go down this list that I saw. There's a graphic that came out with the guy that says Anthony Richardson is 22, bench. Then it goes down the list: Bryce Young, bench; Lance, bench. I'm gonna go down this list and let's just really quickly: do we think these guys can have the resurgence that we're seeing Geno Smith have, that we're seeing Baker Mayfield have, that we're seeing Sam Darnold have on other teams? Because I think all these guys still have trade value, most of them. So I'm gonna go down the list. I think Anthony Richardson definitely in a different situation, similarly to the way Justin Fields went to Pittsburgh and saw some success immediately, can find success still in this league. He's 22.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he will because I think he has the raw physical attributes. I think he has the talent. There's one or two throws in the game where I don't think nobody in the NFL can make that throw. And I mean that. And there's a lot of talent in the NFL, right? But there's definitely a couple plays in there where I'm like, only he can make that throw. We just got to see him be able to make those routine throws. And I think with more repetition in the right situation, the right play calling, the right patience, the right team coaching, defense, and all that, because the defense matters as well. One thing Lamar Jackson has had, and he may not have always had the best wide receivers, but he had a legitimate top 10 defense, a defense that played well, and he was able to win games that way as well. So Russell Wilson in Seattle, the Legion of Boom, he had a top defense in the league, right? Sometimes you need a good defense, you need a balanced team. It's a team game, right? They get you back the ball. So I think Anthony Richardson definitely could have his career rebound.
It's tough because Shane Steichen, he kind of has the philosophy and stuff that would fit this guy. I don't even know this is the Shane Steichen choice. Like, maybe the Colts are pressuring him to use Joe Flacco while he has Joe Flacco. They always seem to outthink themselves at times in Indianapolis. I'm not a big fan of their GM, never have been. On to Bryce Young, though. I think you put Bryce Young to the Rams as an example. He's going to find success when Matthew Stafford retires.
Yeah. I like that fit. I mean, we saw Baker Mayfield go over there, for about a week or two, and learn. We seen Sam Darnold go to Kyle Shanahan. You always want to go to the gurus. You want to go to the Shanahans. You want to go to the McVays, the LaFleurs. Those are the guys that could get you playing right. So, yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Now, a guy like Trey Lance, I think he's cooked, man. I think he's going to be a backup for the career. I don't know if he has any type of recovery. Too many injuries, too much stain on him for me. But what do you think? Trey Lance have any chance or no?
Yeah, I think a backup is going to be his outlook. I think Trey Lance, unfortunately for him, won't have a last dance. I think he's better off being on the bench. He's very inaccurate. He can run a little bit, but the preseason I wasn't that impressed with him. He threw a lot of interceptions. I think he definitely is a bench guy.
And then to speed this up, I feel similarly about Will Levis. I feel similarly about Zach Wilson. I think Mac Jones is pretty cooked. He's probably going to be a backup level guy, kind of like a journeyman backup. I could see that for sure. And then Kenny Pickett, I don't know. I don't think I saw enough out of Kenny Pickett for me to believe that he's going to turn his career around from the bench. Any of those guys? I know a lot of people what's your thoughts on Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson, I'm still trying to download data. I think he's a backup if you ask me, but you take in consideration where he went to and how that situation is dysfunctional, and we've seen guys leave over there. But he was never going to get the job over Bo Nix. Bo Nix is clearly a better quarterback and more suited to fit Sean Payton and what he want to do. So, I'm still downloading data, but I think he's a backup as well.
And the last one, will Justin Fields have a career as a starting quarterback in this league?
Yeah, I think he will. I think with Justin Fields, man, you just got to play to his strengths. I didn't really think he was dealt the fairest card on Pittsburgh because they always kept the offense for Wilson. They never really tailored the offense to fit Fields. So I think, you got to play to his strengths. I think I would like to see a little bit more explosiveness while keeping the turnovers low, like how he was doing in Pittsburgh.
I think his best bet is just stay put. No matter how cheap he has to play for, just stay there. It's going to work out. Just stay there. Don't get eager. Don't try and someone's going to offer him to come be the starter. They're going to offer him $30 million to come over. Don't do it. Just stay there. It'll be the best move for him.
I know it's hard to turn down, money, right? But I think for his career's sake, he should stay.
Hey, wait for Russell Wilson, and then it'll be your turn, buddy. All right, man. I appreciate you for helping me out with this. Again, like I was saying in the intro, y'all, I'll put all the stuff in the description below. Anything else to throw in there before I move on to the next topic?
No, I think probably the last point I would make is that the irony, the Panthers and the Colts, they were two football teams that had primetime quarterbacks and in their heyday, and ever since then they've been juggling these stop and gap guys, Teddy Bridgewater, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, and then you look over there with the Colts, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now you're going back to that. Now you're going back to a stop and gap, both of y'all. I mean, obviously the Panthers are going back to Bryce Young timeout, right? That's what it was, but it don't make sense to me.
Time to look in the mirror. Time to look in the mirror. And will any of these guys save their careers? I guess sooner rather than later. The ball definitely won't lie. Thank you for tuning in to another NFL Mike video. Now it's time to go make more football friends or go and compete in the Mike's Pickems Challenge or against me in daily fantasy football challenges by joining my completely free NFL group chat. Or head to fifthdown.shop and check out and see if we got your team's newest designs. Or now you can simply rep your favorite players without having to wear another team's gear. And then tag us in pictures of you wearing your Fifth Down merch for a shout out in the next episode of NFL Mike's Corner. And help us reach our goal of getting 1,000 NFL fans wearing Fifth Down. Or you can head to the next NFL Mike video by clicking it. It's on your screen. Go ahead.